Hello everyone, my name is unstopablness and welcome to today's video. In this video, I'll be going over the world of Pokemon MMOs, including all the games and most of the features that you can find within the games. An MMO is classified as a massively multiplayer online game. These are the Pokemon games that you and your friends have always dreamed about. Being able to play together in a Pokemon game has always been something that I've wanted growing up, and over the past few years, I have dedicated my channel to showcasing nearly every single one of these Pokemon MMO games. Today's video will be going over the top 10 Pokemon MMOs. Each of the Pokemon MMOs I go over today will have many similarities as well as a ton of differences between each game. In each of these games, I'll be comparing a few things that all games have in common, which include the number of Pokemon available in the game, the number of explorable regions within each game, the average player base within each game, what each game has to offer when it comes to PvP, and if the game has any sort of story or not. Once I have gone over these three things, I will tell what makes the Pokemon MMO unique compared to the others. The games I have listed in this video are based on what I believe is the top 10 Pokemon MMOs, and you may have a different opinion than me when it comes to which ones are better than the others, and that's okay. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions or comments you have about any of the games. I'm pretty active on replying to comments, so I'm excited to see what you have to say about the results of this video. Also, if at any point you find a Pokemon MMO that you are interested in trying, please take a look down below in the comment section down below where I have posted links to each Pokemon game I have listed in today's video. If you have any trouble accessing or playing any of the Pokemon games, be sure to leave a comment and I will try to assist you as fast and as helpful as I can. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the top 10 Pokemon MMOs. Pokemon Rise is one of the newer Pokemon games on this list, but has some of the most unique features when it comes to Pokemon MMOs. I know I said I would talk about the four main features before diving into any specifics as to what separates this game from the others, but this game is played so differently compared to the other Pokemon games on this list. This Pokemon game doesn't follow a traditional Pokemon battle style. It is a real-time Pokemon MMO with your Pokemon out and about running by your side. You don't actually select your moves like you would in a regular Pokemon game. In this one, your Pokemon will attack all wild Pokemon nearby, so be careful when exploring without a Pokemon by your side or else you may be attacked. Now that you have an idea of how this Pokemon MMO is actually played, it's time we talk about the important features of this Pokemon game. Starting off, this Pokemon game has over 700 unique Pokemon for you to catch and use in your Pokemon adventure. These Pokemon range from Generation 1 all the way up to Generation 7. You will find no shortage of Pokemon in this game to explore the massive areas of Pokemon Rise with. This game also doesn't follow your standard regional design of the original Pokemon games. Pokemon Rise offers a 100 by 100 generated world with over 25 towns to explore. You may even find some secret areas and some extremely rare Pokemon on the way. As far as PvP goes in Pokemon Rise, there isn't much to it. This is one of the areas the game lacks in the most, so if you're looking for some competitive, this might not be the game for you. In order to battle other trainers, you need to be in the same building called the Battle Hall, and you must call out your Pokemon, and your Pokemon just hit each other until one dies. It's not the greatest, but at least there is some PvP in the game, so I do give them some points for effort. For the amount of players in this game, I couldn't really find a real answer as to how many players were online at any given time. When I was playing the game, I only ever seen a few players online, and their Discord only has a few hundred people. So I'm assuming this Pokemon MMO is still relatively unknown due to its lack of player base, but although its player base is one of the smaller ones in the Pokemon games on this list, the story of Pokemon Rise is a story you don't want to miss out on. You will begin your story as a professor assistant working your way in the region, gaining info on the local Pokemon and their way of life. You may also get involved in a war that's going on between the gym leaders. That is right, a full-blown war is broken out and the gym leaders are fighting for control over the land, and you may think it's cool, but the people that are warring are actual players in the clans. This game offers a unique clan setup where you and your clan will fight for world domination in the world of Pokemon Rise. If all these amazing features are getting you riled up, then be sure to check out Pokemon Rise today. PokeXGames is another very different Pokemon game on this list when it comes to how it is played. This Pokemon MMORPG plays like an older game called Tibia. This has sort of a top-down view and your Pokemon will automatically attack for you in battle. Using hotkeys which are mapped to certain keys on your keyboard, you and your Pokemon must travel through the region in the game and grow stronger and stronger, forming the ultimate party of Pokemon. This Pokemon game has quite a few Pokemon you can obtain, with it having most but not all Pokemon through Generation 5 and even a few Pokemon in later generations. This player base is hard to tell, but from what I've seen, this game is likely to have as many as 1,000 players log in and out throughout the day. The servers are always busy and full of players anytime I've been online. This game also has somewhat of a huge South American audience, with the majority of players speaking Spanish and Portuguese. When it comes to PvP, this game has weekly tournaments that you can sign up for. The tournaments for this game are held on Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Each day is a different type of tournament, and each one has different rewards as well. One of the main things this Pokemon game has going for it is that it probably has more quests that are more in-depth than any other Pokemon game on this list. The game features various quests throughout the game that give you amazing rewards and create a sense of lore within the region of the game. This game also offers mini games, clans, fishing, and many of the features that attract tons of players to the game. Do keep in mind though that this is not your typical Pokemon game, so more than likely it's best to throw out all of your prior Pokemon knowledge before jumping into this game. Pokemon don't evolve at the levels you think they would, or you don't just catch and train Pokemon the way you think that you would either. With all that being said though, PokeXGames is a Pokemon game on its own level and in no way similar to any other Pokemon game on this list. However, if any of these features I've mentioned have caught your attention, be sure to click the link in the description down below. Pokemon MMO 3D is one of the most graphically updated games on this list. The game currently runs on the Unity system while it is in the progress of being updated to the Unreal Engine. This is a beautiful Pokemon game with some great potential of being one of the best online Pokemon games out there. As of now though, this game is pretty barren. Isn't much to do in the game aside from catching wild Pokemon and exploring the world. And at this point in the game, there isn't even much reward for exploring the world aside from unique skins you can find, as well as finding random items laying around on the ground here and there. As far as PvP goes, it's one of the only features this game truly has to offer at this point. You will need to catch various Pokemon ranging from various generations, as of right now there are only 165 Pokemon to catch in the game, with many more on the way in each update the game receives. The developers are working tirelessly to make this game into a great Pokemon game, and I think that in a little time they'll be able to make this one of the greatest Pokemon MMOs of all time. With that being said, if you do want to check out the progress of Pokemon MMO 3D, then be sure to click the link in the description down below to find your way to their game, if you're interested in supporting their project. Have you ever played Pokemon Mystery Dungeons and thought to yourself, man, it should be great to have a multiplayer version of this? Well, Pokemon Mystery Universe is that game you've been looking for. This game follows true to the traditional Pokemon Mystery Dungeon gameplay, only adding improvements from the original game. This is one of the older games on this list, so it's been around for a while and the developers have kept updating the game over the years. Starting in 2008, the creators of this game wanted a Pokemon game where you yourself could be a Pokemon, just like the official Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. They have done just that and have created an amazing place for people all over the world to live out their dreams of becoming a Pokemon and creating their very own rescue team. This Pokemon game is fairly active with anywhere from 150 to 200 players online in a day. To keep the players active and interested, the game will often host events throughout the weekends for players to participate in. Some of these events may include dodgeball or even hide and seek. There are so many unique features and events hosted by the game devs that it's hard to keep up with how many there actually are. When it comes to PvP, you're able to fight other players in an arena, but it's not one of the main focuses of the game. So if you're looking for some PvP action, this might not be the game for you. If you aren't in the PvP though, then let's move on to some other features this game has to offer. In this Pokemon game, you'll be able to recruit and play nearly 700 different Pokemon ranging from Generation 1 all the way to Generation 7. The developers are also hinting at adding some Generation 8 Pokemon sometime in the near future. Recruiting each Pokemon to join your rescue team is going to take quite a long time, but I suggest you head over to your rescue team base for a break every now and then. In your Pokemon rescue team base, you have access to nearly all texture tiles in the game, so you can truly make your base however you want to. This isn't the only Pokemon game on this list where you can design your own base, but this game does give the most freedom when it comes to making your base feel like a truly unique creation. When it comes to the story in the game, you won't really find much of a main storyline like you would in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. This game has little stories told throughout each dungeon in some instances, but nothing major. Lack of a story and no PvP don't make this game any less than any of the Pokemon MMOs on this list. When you consider how different it is, being that it's a Mystery Dungeon game instead of a traditional Pokemon MMO, but if Pokemon Mystery Dungeons was your jam, then this just might be the Pokemon MMO for you. This game is beautiful. Pokemon 3D is an amazing Pokemon MMO that takes the original graphics and gameplay from Pokemon Gold and Silver and turns it into a unique 3D masterpiece. When I'm playing this game, I'm just always catching myself looking around at how beautiful the scenery is. There is just something captivating about the way the graphics present itself in this game. Nostalgia is the main drive of this Pokemon game, especially in my case, since Pokemon Gold and Silver were my first Pokemon games that I ever played myself. Pokemon 3D was originally created by Nils, but has in recent times become more of an open source game, reaching out to the public for help on development and bug fixes through a popular code sharing website called GitHub. Since the game is open source, that means that the game is open for modders to make the game the way they want it. Players have already begun modding the game to change the visuals. You can play the current 2D style graphics, or you can mod your files to make your game have an updated 3D look. This game features an online mode using servers through GameJolt, meaning you will need a GameJolt account in order to access the online playability of this game. This game can also be played through single player mode or even co-op mode. It's hard to find an average player count for this game since the players are likely playing single mode or even co-op mode instead of online mode. This game does include PvP, and the battles and mechanics are up to date with the current generation of Generation 8 Pokemon games. If you're looking for tournaments, you will need to access Pokemon 3D's Discord server, where they host various PvP tournaments, or you can fight battle someone else if you're just looking to test your skills. But to be the best, you'll need to catch the best Pokemon. And this Pokemon MMO includes Pokemon from Generation 1 all up to Generation 7 and even some Pokemon from Generation 8. That makes this Pokemon game have the largest roster of any Pokemon game on this list. You will need to travel far and wide to be able to catch all these Pokemon in Pokemon 3D. You will find that you're able to explore 3 regions including Kanto, Johto, and the Unova region. You are also able to explore other locations such as Sevi Islands and be able to complete your Pokedex. As far as the story goes in this game, you can just expect the exact same storyline from the original Pokemon Gold and Silver games, since it's an exact remake of those games just in 3D, and with added few regions and minor details. Pokemon 3D is a unique experience in its own, and I suggest you try it out as soon as you can. Up next is a game that's been in production since 2008. Pokemon World Online is a fan-made Pokemon MMO ran by a team of volunteers with a common passion for Pokemon. Currently, the game has features from Kanto and Johto regions, with the Sevi Islands and Hoenn planned for the near future. A major update will be coming soon, which will introduce the Elite Four. The general gameplay of Pokemon World Online is similar to any traditional Pokemon RPG, but with some MMO-inspired tweaks. HMs do not exist in Pokemon World Online, but surfing is possible by purchasing or solving a puzzle to earn a surfboard. Pokemon World Online also features PvP battling, available anytime using the /battle command or by right-clicking players as well as a random random battle PvP mode where players with randomized teams and moves, as well as a random battle PvP mode where players will battle with random Pokemon and moves. This game is to the very core your traditional Pokemon MMO experience, offering players when it comes to questing. With 20 plus quests to help you immerse yourself into the world of the game, Pokemon World Online is brimming with content for all players to explore. As of now, there isn't much in terms of story besides what the original Pokemon games have to offer, and by that I mean the main objective in the game is to beat all the gyms in each region. However, the devs are planning out and developing more unique parts of the game. When it comes to the amount of Pokemon available for players to catch and train, the number is 652. This game has all Pokemon from Generation 1 all up to Generation 5. Although this game has a lot of great features, this is an often far overlooked Pokemon MMO, and I think it deserves a lot more respect than what it receives from the Pokemon community. With a somewhat active player base, Pokemon World Online only has about 200 players that log into the game each day. This may not be the most active Pokemon MMO on this list, but with such great features and more coming in the future, this is a Pokemon game that you won't want to miss out on playing this year. Pokemon Planet is a Pokemon MMO on this list that I've by far had the most amount of time playing. I have personally been playing Pokemon Planet for nearly 6 years now, so I know nearly everything there is to know about when it comes to playing this Pokemon MMO. Pokemon Planet was released in October 2015 by a man named Brody Gilbertson. The game was released with very little content in an open beta, but has since expanded from just a few regions to explore with a couple hundred Pokemon to catch, to being able to explore 5 different regions in the game with a 6th region on the way, and being able to catch nearly every single Pokemon from Generation 1 all the way to Generation 6. Although Pokemon Planet has a lot of regions and a lot of Pokemon to catch, the game almost feels like it's stagnated with the content the developer's been putting into the game. This is the reason why this game isn't at a higher spot on this list. The developer of this game is known for being very non-transparent when it comes to updates or issues regarding the game, and he hardly ever talks to anyone. He has a lot of great ideas, and I believe he's genuinely interested in making Pokemon Planet great, but Brody just ends up not reaching any of the deadlines for any of the updates he's ever announced in the past. Other issues that keep the game from being a higher spot on this list include the lack of late game content. Your only real goal in each region is to beat the gyms and move to the Elite Four until you can't go any further. There are other features in the game though that definitely help flesh out the game. These features would include small quest systems, PvP tournaments, world bosses, skills like fishing or mining, and many other features you won't find in other Pokemon MMOs on this list. Specifically, the PvP in this game is one of the best you'll find out of all the MMOs on this list, and maybe why it's one of the most popular Pokemon MMOs. Some of the PvP events you'll find in this game include Clan Wars, which is a popular event held on the weekends where you and your clan battle other clans to see which group is the best. But maybe you're into the solo scene when it comes to battling and don't want any losers holding you back. If that's the case, then you're in luck, because other tournaments hosted throughout the week include Self-Caught Tournament, Any Level Tournament, which sets all your Pokemon at the same level, and also the newly added Ubers Tournament, where players can showcase their legendary Pokemon. While Pokemon Planet holds a big spot in my heart, it falls short on this list for a few reasons that I hope to see improved upon in the future. Anyways, if you're looking for a great online Pokemon experience to play with your friends, this is the right game for you. Don't miss out on playing Pokemon Planet today. PokeOne is a very unique game on this list. The art style in this game is presented in the mix between 3D graphics and your original 2D graphics you would find in older Pokemon games. This gives off an oddly nostalgic feel when playing the game, almost like the graphics you would find in Generation 4 or 5 Pokemon games. The creators of this Pokemon game are a branch of developers that helped create another Pokemon game on this list, Pokemon Evolution Online. If you compare the two games together, you can see that they have quite a lot in common. PokeOne is one of the fastest growing Pokemon MMOs on this list, while also being one of the youngest. Officially available for public play in 2018, this game has had its ups and downs when it comes to the player base. The game had tremendous amounts of traffic upon releasing, leading to massive influxes of players trying to play all at once, and the game servers weren't ready to host thousands of players all trying to log in at once. After a rocky start, the developers continue to work hard to make the game an experience for all players to enjoy. This Pokemon MMO currently offers 3 regions to explore, which include the Kanto, Johto, and Unova regions. The developers are currently working on adding the next region of the game, which is going to be the Sinnoh region. The game also offers other places to explore, featuring the Sevi Islands and other custom maps that are unique to the game. When it comes to the Pokedex, not all the Pokemon are in this game, but there are quite a few to capture from Generations 1 all the way up to Generation 7. When it comes to the story of the game, it's pretty much the same as the original games, with some unique twists thrown in here and there. The game has a very active community and a sizable player base. PokeOne usually holds around 500 plus players at any time of the day, but recently has seen a surge of new players coming into the game. The developers and players host various events for all players to participate in, which include group Pokemon hunting or even PvP tournaments. With a tremendous amount of content and a growing community, I'm excited to see what PokeOne will do in the future. PokeOne, in my opinion, has the greatest potential to be the top Pokemon MMO on this list, and maybe one day it will take that #1 spot. If you haven't already given this game a try, I suggest you jump into playing PokeOne today. Pokemon Evolution Online is another popular Pokemon MMO on this list. This is one of the most active Pokemon MMOs when it comes to having a large player base. Their website claims to have over 10,000 active members each day, but I think the number is closer between 1,000 and 2,000, which is still a lot of players. With all the players in this game, it'll be easy to make friends and join up with one of the player-owned clans known as guilds. But maybe you're more of a single-player type of person? Well, this game has all of that covered with its amazing story. Pokemon Revolution Online features a very similar story to that of the original Pokemon games, taking place in 4 different regions: the Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh. Although the story is practically identical, identical, it does differ in certain situations that put a unique twist on the original Pokemon stories that we all know and love. But with 4 regions, you'd expect a lot of cool Pokemon, and that's exactly what you get because this game features most Pokemon from Generation 1 through Generation 7, adding up to a total of 555 total Pokemon to catch. And with that many Pokemon to catch, I bet you're wondering what kind of PvP meta this game has. Well, Pokemon Revolution Online uses a Generation 7 format when it comes to battling with a ranked PvP section in the game, which rewards the top 25 players of the month with exclusive rewards. Also, fun fact for those of you who are interested in competitive, this is the only Pokemon MMO on this list that currently has Mega Evolution available to players. So if you're interested in a unique twist on an old story, as well as some great competitive PvP action, then you should really consider playing Pokemon Revolution Online today. PokeMMO might be the most well-known Pokemon MMO on this list. If you're looking for a traditional Pokemon experience, then this is the Pokemon MMO for you. Fun fact, PokeMMO is one of the few Pokemon fan games that has actually been hit with a DMCA from Nintendo, but was able to stay up because the game technically not giving out the ROMs, meaning the players had to legally own the ROMs, so Nintendo had no legal ground to shut the game down. With that being said, this game uses ROMs from Pokemon Fire Red, Soul Silver, Platinum version, and Pokemon Black and White. You will need these ROMs in order to play the game and get the full PokeMMO experience. This is one of the few games on this list which allows you to choose which region to start in, letting you choose either Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, or Unova. Once you defeat a region, you're able to travel between another to continue your adventure. One of the reasons I believe this game is so popular is because of the story, which is literally just the same story from the actual Pokemon ROMs. It definitely holds true to the original Pokemon game, so if you want to play a childhood Pokemon game with your friends online, then this is the closest you'll ever get to that. You're able to catch all Pokemon in each generation from the ROMs that you installed. That means if you have them all installed, you'll be able to have all Pokemon from Generations 1 to Generation 7 on your team. Another fun fact is that this is the only Pokemon MMO on this list that lets you traditionally breed Pokemon for competitive battles. That means that this game might have some of the best PvP that you can experience out of all the Pokemon MMOs. Speaking of PvP, you might be wondering what kind of battles they have. I'm assuming they use Generation 5 mechanics for their battle system, so you'll need to brush up on your Generation 5 meta for the following PvP categories. Players in PokeMMO compete in OU, UU, NU, and LC tournaments, which if you are a competitive Pokemon player, you know what all that means. Anyways, PokeMMO is a great way to get started in playing Pokemon MMOs. With a traditional Pokemon experience and great competitive scene, this is a Pokemon game that you need to start playing today. So that was my rankings for the top 10 Pokemon MMOs in my opinion, based on what each one had to offer. In short, here are my recommendations for players who are asking which one to choose. If you're looking for traditional, I suggest Pokemon MMO. If you're new to Pokemon MMOs, I suggest PokeOne. If you're looking for a tough challenge with the traditional grindy feel of an MMO, then I suggest Pokemon Planet. But these are just my suggestions, so feel free to check out any of the Pokemon MMOs on this list. I will be leaving a link down below to a video of each game, so be sure to check them out if you can get the time. Anyways, I think I'm going to end the video here. If you guys want this video, please let me know by leaving a like or even consider subscribing to the channel. If you disagree with anything I said in the video, then please remember that this video is done in my opinion, and that I'd also love to hear what your opinion is. So if you would, leave your top 10 or top 5 list down below. I'd be more than glad to read it. As always, I just want to say thanks for watching my video. God bless you all, and I hope you all have a great day.